And good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk to you Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, folks, think living local and the return of cool. That's right, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Anyways, hey, it is midweek, and it's I think we're officially still Thanksgiving week. We're past Thanksgiving, but we're going into the Christmas season. Hopefully you're getting your Christmas trees up. I just put mine up yesterday. Can't wait to show it to you. Maybe we're going to dress it up first. I still haven't put any decorations on it. It's just kind of hanging out. It's a big green plant now. It's kind of sitting out in the corner of the house. But as soon as we get it all decked out, we deck the halls with boughs of holly, we'll show it to you. Want to welcome everybody to the show, especially our friends who are watching us on Facebook, you're watching us on YouTube, that kind of stuff. Let me get over there to the page. I'm going to get over to my our YouTube channel, our Facebook page. And we had some real issues in the last couple of days because for some reason, all the platforms are doing something different. They want you to do things. And so I've been denied. Just had a lot of weird things going on. And so we want to welcome all of our friends who are watching us. I can see you folks. So if you would like to make mention of something, you'd like to give a shout out or something like that, just go ahead and do it. And I should be able to see you, at least on our group page, our Facebook group page. So check it out. And what else is going on? Oh, got a ton of stuff to talk about today. We had a firing yesterday. I think most of you might have heard of that, but if not, we're going to let you know about that. It's pretty big. I think we actually spoke a little bit about it Monday, but want to make sure that gets deep into you. And some cool things happening over on the sports side of things, and a mention that we didn't even mention about, but it just got past us. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. And kind of a scary thing that's going on, especially if you're a postal carrier here in the city of Las Vegas. It's kind of skanky. So I'll make sure we get that. Anyways, let's do this. Let's pay a real quick bill, and we'll get on with the show. This is Sherman Ray. This is Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the the whole thing. Okay, we'll back in a second. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right, we are back, folks. This is Sherman Ray, the Livin in Vegas podcast. Somebody actually complained that they said they went to our website and we were down. And yes, we are. We actually did an update yesterday. And when you do an update on any one of these platforms, you run the risk of just what they call a critical meltdown. Yeah, it's a critical meltdown, and that's exactly what happened. We had a critical meltdown. We're trying to back it up, trying to figure out why it happened, and we have not been able to solve that yet. But fear not. If you are on our mailing list, folks, you will not have to worry about this. So get on our mailing list. It's at info@livininvegas.com. It's info@livininvegas.com. You can get on our mailing list, and you will not miss a day. Okay, because we'll mail you. We'll mail you stuff to keep you in the loop on what's going on in the city of Las Vegas. There's a lot, especially now. If you were like me, I watch a lot of news. I get a lot of updates. Try to keep up with all the things that are going on in the town. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. All that kind of stuff. And our team is just doing everything we can to try to keep up with what's going on in Vegas. Well, since the World Cup is on, a lot of the stations are actually airing the World Cup, which means they're not producing news. And it's not that I don't like watching soccer. I mean, it's wonderful for about 10, 15 minutes, 5, 10 minutes, maybe a minute. Oh, face it, folks, hockey or soccer is bad. It takes forever to watch. Somebody might score, they may not score, whatever. They might score one time the entire game. It's like a 90-minute just snooze fest. Anyways, where was I going with this story? Oh, so they're having the World Cup on. Well, if you've got the World Cup on, you don't have news on, there's really no way to get updates. And I don't get everything, folks. I mean, I've got tons of news sources I go through. But some of them are on TV, and when the news isn't on, I don't get it. So, so now, folks, if you want news on Vegas, this is the place to come to. It is, because it's not on TV. So check us out. Check us out on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, which is livininvegas.com, or Livin in Vegas, or on our website, which is down right now. So you just have to check us on Facebook or on YouTube for right now. So there was a story, folks. Law enforcement is looking for a suspect accused of robbing the Postal Service carrier at gunpoint. Yeah, they got a picture of the lady, of one of the people. And this happened, Postal Inspection Service said the incident happened about 12:30 p.m. November 8th. So this was November 8th it happened at 10 Rue de Parc in Henderson. So this happened November 8th, so it happened a few weeks ago. And they said they have a picture of the lady, and we'll actually, when we send out our newsletter today, we'll send a picture of this just not a very modest lady. She's kind of that's scary. We'll send a picture of the lady, and if you see her, contact the Postal Service, and don't go up to this lady and go, "Hey, you're a skank." Oh, did I say it? I shouldn't have said it. Don't say that you're a thieving skank, but say, "Hey, look, there's a number to call. We'll leave the number for it and everything else provided with this article." There's actually a reward up to $50,000 for information that could lead to the arrest of this person. So we want to definitely do that because we want to protect our postal carrier. I don't know about you, but I know my postal guy. He's a very nice guy, actually. I talk to him every time I get a chance. Over at Sunrise Hospital, they topped the list of sites with a superbug as cases grow 60% since August. Now, it's a very interesting story here. Sunrise Hospital and Medical Center had 122 cases of what they call a superbug that's being monitored by state health officials. And the bug is called Candida auris, or C.auris. It's hard to say, AURIS. It's a list of 774 cases at more than 39 healthcare facilities in southern Nevada, where the fungus has been detected. So I guess this is probably a pretty not a very nice fungus. It's a bug, and I don't know if it'll kill you, but let's see. Doesn't sound like it's not going to kill you, but it's a fungus, and nobody likes fungus unless you're eating it, and it is it's a mushroom. So that's not bad if you're eating it as a mushroom, but you don't want that. Oh, hey, so the state, here's some national news. National news, which has local implications. Nevada state senators, which we only have two of them, Jackie Rosen and Catherine Cortez Masto. And Catherine Cortez Masto just got re-voted back in as one of our state senators. They voted for an LGBTQ same-sex marriage bill. Now, here's the deal. When the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade and said it was unconstitutional, which it was, and said it was bad law, which it was, and sent it back to the states so that states could vote on it, which it should have been in the first place, that a remark that one of the Associate Justices, Clarence Thomas, made was that, hey, guess what, folks? This could be just the start of something that they overturn. Well, what people took from that was, oh, gosh, he's going to the Supreme Court's going to bring up, things that will threaten not just marriage, but even interracial marriage, which doesn't make a lot of sense since Clarence Thomas is in an interracial marriage himself. As I am also. My wife is Irish, but so am I. So I actually am. I actually have Irish roots in my family. So we're not interracially married. We're interculturally married because we're all the same human race. We just have different cultures, and because we are both Irish, we're actually pretty close. Does that make sense? I'm a Black Irish. You knew it was coming, folks. You knew it was coming. I couldn't help myself. Anyways, the bill, let's get back to the story. So on Tuesday, the U.S. Senate passed the Respect for Marriage Act to bipartisan support, 61 to 36. A couple of Republicans jumped on board with the Democrats in the Senate. And so once again, I think this was much to do about nothing. That if there's no constitutional, I won't go into this very much. There is no constitutional, bill that says you cannot be married to anybody you want to marry. You could, if you wanted to marry a tree, you can marry a tree, I guess. So for the LGBTQ community to think that somebody's going to threaten your right to get married, that's nonsense. Okay, you have every right as any other American citizen to get married to anybody you want. Okay, whether the country agrees with it or not, you have that right, and there doesn't need to be special protection for that. But if this makes you feel better, then way to go. Hey, do we take a break? Let's take a real quick break, folks. Let's take a real quick break, and once again, this is Sherman Ray. This is Livin in Vegas podcast. We'll be back in just a minute. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right, and we are back, folks. This is Sherman Ray. This is Livin in Vegas podcast. Hey, I didn't mention this, folks, but I'm going to be speaking this weekend over at my home church. Here, let's put that up there. Yeah, I'm going to be speaking over at, gosh, that's really big. Can we make it smaller, guys? Thanks. I appreciate that. I'll be speaking over at the Family Worship Center at 4000 Spring Road, starting about 10:30 this Sunday. So I'm very excited about that. On occasion, lead pastor Adam will leave to go do something really cool, and so he'll ask me to step in. And so it doesn't happen all the time, but I'm very excited every time it does. So come on out, folks. This Sunday, 4000 Spring Road to the Family Worship Center. I usually lead worship there, so I usually am doing the music there. I rock out on the guitar. And but this week I'm going to actually I won't be playing my guitar. I'll be in the pulpit and giving a word. I got a real cool inspirational word for you. So if you want to come out there, it starts at 10:30. Okay. Anyways, there was a story about home builders. They say that home sales are down drastically. Or I shouldn't say that drastically, significantly. And what does that mean by significantly? Well, it means that it's last year, or the beginning of the year, we were on fire. Literally on fire, the housing market. You could not, as soon as a home was listed, it was sold. That was it. I was getting phone calls every single day, a couple of times a day to say, hey, can you sell a property? Even properties I might have owned years ago, they're calling me on it. That's the feeding frenzy we had for people wanting to buy homes. Now, not so much. Things have actually gone down, and the reason why, they said, is because of inflation, and that's just the way it is. Because of inflation, they say that home sales have dropped about 5.8%, and that's pretty big. I mean, it really is. In a market that was just housing prices went up, and they say by the president of Las Vegas-based Home Builders Research says the number of homes sold in October has gone down by 59% from the same time in 2021. That's big. I mean, that's really big. 5.8% over the year, but since October of last year to now, it's 59%. And that's huge. So what are we going to do? Did it say how much the medium house on prices on homes? Says most people just can't qualify for a mortgage for the median price of a home, which is $450,000. It's $500,000. Now, I'll tell you, this is significant in this. When I was a realtor many years ago, the median price for a home was $120,000 in Las Vegas. It's true. $120,000 for a median price of a home. Now is $450,000. My gosh. And because of the interest rates are so high right now, people can't qualify for a home. And that's a direct result of inflation. But, elections have consequences. I know I'm saying it all loud, folks. I'm so. Let's go on. Guess who is going to be over has a residency over at the Venetian for at least 10 days? My favorite band. What is it? The B-52s. That's right. It's true. I love the B. I know people are going, what? The B-52s. I love the B-52s. There is really, other than a couple of funk bands I just love, and Al Jarreau, God rest his heart. And have a moment of silence for Al Jarreau. The B-52s have got to be the funnest band to listen to watch. Their music is just popping all the time. I love them. They're going to be over at the Venetian. When are they starting over there? Somebody tell me. So they announced that they will be over there starting May 5th. And they'll do dates in May, August, and September. Tickets are $50. And will somebody buy me? So tickets start at Ticketmaster on December 3rd. So you can check it out. If you want to get me something, folks, here it is. If you'd like to get me something that will just warm my cockles, I know. You ever heard that? Cockles? If you want to warm my cockles, get me and the wife a pair of tickets to the B-52s. I will sing your praises from now until whenever. I'll get you on the show. I know I got somebody. I know a guy that'll get you on the show. So it should be fun to watch the B-52s and to see how they just love Shack, baby. Love Shack. Actually, I'm telling you, if you doubt me not, folks, I love the B-52s. So here's another story. Caesars Sportsbook, they got fined. The sportsbook got fined for what? For denying a hockey payout. Okay, here's the deal. A guy won $27,000, a gambler. Okay, he was an international gambler. And he bet on an international hockey game. Okay? Evidently, Caesars is not just into betting locally, but sometimes in the future. No, this is not product placement, folks. It's just one of my favorite cups. So, Caesars decided that this guy who won the $27,000, they said, no, you lost. Because the game, yes, the final score in the game would have been a win, but during regulation time, you lost because you didn't win. because your team didn't win. Well, the betting is the State Division of Gambling Enforcement fined Caesars and said no, that he won because the final score in the game showed that he won. And so Caesars kind of balked that. It was only a $500 fine. But so here's the thing I guess you need to be aware of is that, and probably Caesars will probably make this into fine print. They're saying, look, if in regulation time, these bets are for regulation time. This is not overtime, because the sports prognosticators, my new word for the day, the sports prognosticators or the Schwammies cannot divine overtime scores. They can only divine. I don't know how these guys do it. They're just so good. They really are. Okay. How much time do I have? Oh, yeah. Plenty of time. Oh, good. All right. So there was a story that I really wanted to get to because this is a kind of an interesting job. They said the U.S. job openings fell in October. And the same thing happened here in Las Vegas. That the number of jobs, the openings fell. Now, this was something that was actually people said was going to happen. They said towards the end of the year, instead of usually at the end of the year is when the openings open up. Okay, a lot more jobs are because they're trying to do the seasonal thing. It's Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, sales. They need more sales staff. But it didn't. In October, it fell. And they said that a lot of people are going to be very, very surprised because they're not going to be able to find jobs. And once again, it is a direct result of inflation. Inflation has just killed everybody, and it has made it so that employers are not they can't afford to keep the people on because their sales are down. And their sales are down because the federal government is because the federal government pumped all this money into the system beginning of COVID. Okay, and they pumped in trillions of dollars. It was pumped, sending out checks all over the place. And everybody was like going, yeah, I got a check. But the backside of this was not something people had anticipated, not the layman. Okay, most economists said, yes, there's going to be a problem with this in a couple of months. People spent all that PPP money. They spent all of this government money. Inflation went through the roof because there's too much money chasing too few goods. Because in addition to them pumping all this money in, the ability or the number of goods that people were trying to buy was like this. It kept shrinking, and it kept shrinking. Unfortunately, what's happening with the government doesn't understand that you have to supply people with goods to pay for to chase after that money's chasing after. Okay, I don't want to get all esoteric on this one, but anyways, they said in October that the number of jobs, people opening jobs, the job openings, people wanting to get hired fell. Employers posted 10.3 million job vacancies in October. It's down from 10.7 million in September. So it's really not that big, but it's big enough. Even with the drop, openings were slightly lower in August, and when they dipped below 10.3 million before rebounding the following month. So very interesting stuff that's going on with the. So let's move on to something else because I don't have a lot of time and I want to make sure I get this in. Okay, the Lady Rebels, Lady Basketball Rebels. We beat Illinois over the weekend, folks, and this game was, I believe, a couple days ago. It was a couple days ago. We missed it Sunday. We beat Illinois 73-66. And not only that, but we took the tournament title. Folks, I'm a prognosticator, folks. I'm getting really good at this. Illinois State entered Sunday aiming for the best start in its women's basketball program. They'll have a chance to try again next year, though, because they didn't do it. UNLV ran our record to 7-0. The best in 32 years, folks. Come on, baby. I love you. And oh, no, I haven't taken it off, folks. Oh, no, I haven't taken it off. It's my UNLV wristband. Can you see it? You can see it. You know it's there. Come on. See, all these other guys, they can say they love UNLV, but they have no UNLV swag. I got UNLV swag coming out of my ear holes. Actually, I had to throw away a hat. Is it over there? Yeah, I had to throw away my hat. I'm sorry. I had to look over the corner. I had to throw away my hat because I wore it, and many of you know this story. I wore it when I was working on my car, and it got all greasy. So here's a couple of things you can get me. Tickets to the B-52s or another UNLV hat. I need a hat. I want the full-brimmed hat, though. I want the full-brimmed white hat with the red band around it. Okay, that's so cool to me. All right, so UNLV won, very cool, and this was a story that I mentioned Monday, but I want to make sure that you got this. We actually we fired our head coach for the Rebel football, Coach Arroyo, because even though we won the Fremont Cannon over the weekend, which we were all jumping up and down about, people are still jumping up and down about it. His overall record was one that was abysmal. He's been here 3 years. I think we've won 3 games. And you just cannot do this. And I put this out on Twitter. I think I put it out on Facebook that the new athletic director, Eric, I forgot Eric's last name, but he is probably feeling the heat because every other sporting, team at UNLV on the women's side is winning. But the guys are stinking up the place, except for the Running Rebels. Our guys' basketball team, we're doing fantastic. But the sports that make the most money for the boosters, for the school, football and basketball. Okay, men's football, men's basketball. And our men's football team is just in the toilet. So, the athletic director is probably, now these are my words, these are not anybody else's words, so I'm not speaking for the university, I'm not speaking for a booster or anybody who might be my relative that is a booster. All right, I do have my brother-in-law is a booster. Anyways, actually several of my friends are too. That if the men's football team did not perform, the athletic director's got to do something. And he pulled the pin. He pulled the plug on Arroyo quicker than, Maalox goes through you. Okay? And I think rightfully so, a lot of people are upset about it because you just won the Fremont Cannon. But this is business. And we have got a winning program with a football team that's not winning. So we got to do something about it. And we've got a state that is on the up. Okay? The Aces, Vegas Golden Knights. And I was going to put the Raiders in there, but the Raiders brought in Allegiant Stadium, so we'll give them a pass. But the Raiders are going to come back. We've got all this winning stuff. We've got this momentum going. You got to keep winning. Okay? And so, sorry, Coach Arroyo. I'm sure you'll land on your feet someplace. It's just, Speaking of, I got to go. Speaking of the Vegas Golden Knights, we won. Okay? We won against Columbus 3-2. And it was very cool. I was watching this. It was a very cool game. I really was watching this game and could not wait to see it. Folks, I want to mention this right now because we've not mentioned the Aviators in a long time because they're in the off season right now. But the ballpark, the Las Vegas ballpark, is now open for their Mischievous, and it's a light show and stuff like that out there. We'll leave a link to this. You can go out to the Las Vegas ballpark and get your tickets for that. I think tickets are like $35 for adults, $20 for kids. And we love the Aviators. My good friend Russ Langer, who is the voice of the Las Vegas Aviators, he's out there doing all kinds of good things. And if you get a chance, folks, write to Russ Langer, Langer, Russ Langer. He's a new papa. I think his little boy is like 3 or 4 years old now. But let him know how much you love him. Let him know how much he really means to you because he's been the voice of the Aviators, the Stars, the 51s, UNLV football for decades. He's really done a fantastic job. He's a new papa. He and his wife are just peaches. They're just wonderful. Okay, and they don't get the love they need. Okay, so I'm sending out some love to them right now. So give them a little love. Of course, before we leave, folks, Josh Jacobs was named the AFC Offensive Player of the Week, and there's a reason why. Plays for the Raiders, and he had like an 83-yard touchdown return that was just fantastic. It was an overtime win against the who was it? Seattle. Yeah, I know. So, anyways, folks, this has been Sherman Ray. This has been the Livin in Vegas podcast. We will see you again on Friday, where we'll talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, folks, think living local and the return of cool. We'll see you again Friday, 8:30 in the morning. Bye-bye.